Hey, it's Tara and it's time for Sunday Reads. This week I finished just one book. I finished only yesterday, An Informal History of the 1920s in America by Frederick Lewis Allen. This is a nonfiction historical thing. This is a nonfiction book about the 1920s in America, and it was published in 1931, which is what I found most interesting about this book. A lot of the, I don't actually know what to call this. History? Decade history? The decade history books that I read are usually, from much farther in the future. It was really interesting to read one that was written from the end of 1919 to the beginning of 1931 by someone in 1931. So a lot of it was really fresh and very close to the feeling of the people, and some of the phrases that were used were very old-fashioned, and I learned a lot of English that I had never heard before. So that was a very interesting thing. The way it was all put together was a little bit difficult to understand, but I think that's pretty common among the decade history books because they don't do it like year by year. They do it mostly by topic, like political, entertainment, popular culture, etc. They do them all separated out like that, so you get a lot of overlap between years, and also like some politics may overlap popular culture. So there's a lot of bleed through, and it's sometimes a little bit difficult to keep track of exactly what's being talked about. But that being said, except for the opening chapter in which he introduces you to a typical 1919, 1920 household, which is in a weird, it's just really weird, and I was very put off by it. But after that, it got down to like a normal informational sort of thing. So yeah, I really enjoyed it. I learned a lot about America in the 20s that I had never ever learned, and I found that I don't know a lot about the presidents of the United States. I don't know a lot about details of American history. I feel like history in the US isn't really taught in a way that helps us to understand American history. It's all like highlights of just facts, not actual feels, or a lot of it is colored. So I've been really enjoying reading through these decade histories for that reason, and this one was a pretty good one, I thought. It didn't cover a lot of issues with non-white Americans, although some of the issues were mentioned, as well as some problems with religion, Jews and Catholics especially, but a lot of that was kind of glossed over, and it was clear that he wasn't really giving a lot of information on that section of America, which I think is a problem. But then again, it was also written in 1931, so it was written by a white American male who just didn't have those things in his list of important things to be talked about, which is unfortunate, but also a sign of the times. So if you're looking for that information, you'll have to look elsewhere. If you're just looking for a sort of pulse of the typical middle income or middle class Americans, middle to upper class, then you can look here. Other than that, I am reading 3 books right now. I'm reading We the Children of Cats by Tomoyuki Hoshino, which is a collection of short stories and novellas, and they are trippy and weird, like really, really weird. I'm not sure how to feel about about them right now. Like, part of me is really interested because it talks a lot about the feeling of displacement that apparently Japanese people have been suffering as, culture changes. Not just Japan, but, all countries, all people of different countries have that feeling, but the way the Japanese culture has shaped it and the way Japanese literature works, it definitely has the feel that I'm used to from Japanese literature, but way weirder. So it's interesting. I'm about halfway through that, so I should finish that this week. I'm also reading Babel 17 by Samuel Delaney. I think that's right. And also weird, but interesting. I'm only like 10% into that one, so I don't know much about what's going to happen, but it's interesting so far. And I also started The City in the City by China Mieville, and I am buddy reading that with Sabrina from Sabrina Everywhere, and we're only 3 chapters in, but I am really looking forward to reading this with her, and getting into another China Mieville. It feels really different from both Perdido Street Station and Unlundone, which are the only two Mieville books that I've completely read before. So this should be an interesting week coming up. Anyways, how are you doing? Anything exciting happening? Are you preparing for the winter holidays by decorating or cooking or anything? I put a little bit of garland up, not that you can see it, and that is all the decorating I'm going to do because I'm going home for a visit on December 23rd, so I don't really want to decorate for the holidays right now because I'm just going to look forward to having a nicely decorated house when I go home and see my family. So yeah. Do you have any like favorite holiday recipes? I really like mint hot chocolate or hot cocoa, I guess, and chai shortbread cookies. So those are probably my two favorite holiday like recipes that aren't like pies, because pies. Yeah. Anyway, I guess that's it. Let me know what's going on with you, what you're reading, if you're reading anything interesting, and I guess until next time.